Hello everyone, this is the CrimsonCure, welcoming you to the Crimson Tower, a place where we keep a feminine foot on the neck of the gynocracy, feminism, and black male misandry. So go ahead, pull up a chair, stay a while, and listen. Hey, and welcome to the CrimsonCure channel. We're going to go ahead and get right on into the topic, but first, a word from our sponsor.
This is A-Game, fast-acting, long-lasting, with no side effects.
Hello, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the CrimsonCure channel. And as usual, we are just going to jump right into the topic. So, as we can see the title, why are we reinventing the wheel? Okay. And what we're going to be talking about today is a video, or rather a live stream, that was done on March the 17th. And it was done on Dr. Tiasan Johnson's channel. Shout out to Dr. Tiasan Johnson with the help of BGS Ignore. And it was entitled SMV, MMV, and LMV, How to Empirically Locate Your Social Value. Okay. Now, a few things were discussed during that live stream, and I'm going to respond to those things. We're first going to talk about that LMV, which was a new one. I had never heard of that. They said it stood for labor market value. We're going to take a look at something. I don't know if you can see this. Hopefully you can. But this is the 10 life value system chart. And as we can see, it is a wheel that is whole, that does not need to be reinvented. And from 1 through 10, it is spiritual, health, family, appearance, and dwelling values, which we dub the internal 5. And the reason why we dub them the internal 5 is because these 5 values are personal. These help define a person's personal value, or the culmination of these things help to describe a person's personal value. The following 5 begins with mobility, education, profession, leisure, and wealth values, which we dub the external 5. Okay. And the external 5 of the 10 life values is indeed how we empirically locate our social value. Because it is external. It is how an individual is rated, or it describes their value within society. The umbrella is number 6, which is mobility. Mobility describes every single thing that happens outside of your personal home and dwelling. It's what's outside your door, from the community to politics to everything that affects the society or the environment or the communities that we live in. Mobility is all of those things. This is why I call it the umbrella. It is the umbrella under which 7 through 10 sit. Education, value, profession, leisure, and wealth actually culminate to inform a person's mobility. So when we think about a person's education or lack thereof, profession or lack thereof, leisure or lack thereof, wealth or lack thereof. When we think about these things, we understand that it helps to inform a person's individual mobility within society. Because if you have better education, better profession, time for leisure or a better form of leisure, and you have financial wealth, that actually informs the kind of mobility you will have as an individual within society. What's your sphere of influence? How do you move? How can you move around in society? Because let's take profession. If your profession is legal versus illegal, you're going to have an issue with mobility more than likely if your profession is illegal. Because if it's illegal, even if it results in leisure or wealth, if you get caught, your mobility is going to be severely restricted because you're going to end up incarcerated. You understand? The profession, leisure, and wealth value are affected by the education value more times than not. Because whether that education is formal or whether it's vocational, you're going to need some type of skill, knowledge, know-how, or something in order to influence positively the profession, leisure, and wealth value. Why am I going over this? The reason why I'm going over this is because no matter what aspect of life we talk about, it's going to fall under one or more of those 10 life value categories. So when we talk about LMV or labor market value, that actually falls under both mobility and profession. See how we don't need an addendum? Doesn't need an amendment. It actually still fits in the 10 life value systems as it is. Okay. Now we're going to move on to SMV and MMV. SMV is, of course, sexual market value, and MMV is marriage market value. Now, I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'm going to put up the Valuable Woman Series chart. And as we can see, there are 5 spheres of value applied to women. Now, in that live stream, sexual market value was spoken of correctly in and of itself, but marriage market value was a little bit confusing because I saw a lot of charts that were comparing men to women in more of an economic way, which deals with profession and wealth. So it was like, well, men are more valuable earlier on in their lives when they talk about marriage market value. And I just have to sort of go back over that because marriage market value was not spoken about properly. But let's tackle the entire thing, okay? So we see personal market value. Personal market value, as I've explained before, is the relationship or the value of the relationship that a woman has with herself. Meaning, what kind of esteem, self-esteem, all of these different things that women have, or if she doesn't have it. So a woman with poor personal market value might be a woman that suffers from depression or has low self-esteem or low sense of self-worth. Okay. This can be caused by a couple of different factors. No need to get into all of those factors. Suffice it to say that personal market value is the relationship that she has with herself. It's how she views herself. It's how she sees herself. which will inform how she interacts with others in her life, be it family, friends, associates, co-workers, or romantic interests. Okay? The second one is belonging market value. This one is the relationship that she has between herself and her immediate family. What is the relationship between herself and her parents, herself and her siblings? What about extended family? What about cousins, aunts, uncles? Okay. What is her belonging market value? So when we talk about a man searching for a woman to be his wife, these are the things that he's actually looking at beyond her sexual market value. Her sexual market value is only one small piece of the value system or the set of values that make her marriage material or not. So where she comes from, her family, that's her belonging market value. Is it dysfunctional? Is it highly dysfunctional? Is she in breakdown with her family all the time? What is it? Did she feel abandoned by them? Did she feel loved by them? Did she feel protected by them? Did she feel, was she abused by them? All of those things belong in the belonging market value. Then we move to friendship market value. What kind of peers does she associate herself with? Who are her friends? Who are the people that she is close to outside of her family? How does she interact with them? What does she do with them? What type of value does she provide in those relationships, and what types of values does she receive from those relationships? Oftentimes when a man is looking for a woman to be his wife, he actually will look at the quality of her friends and what type of friendships she has. And the reason why he looks for those things is because he's trying to determine if these outside influences are positive or negative. Will they have a positive or negative effect on his influence that he's going to try to have over her as her husband? Then we move to sexual market value, which is a teeny weeny little part, which is basically how attractive is she? How sexually attractive is she to men? Do men look at her and say, yeah, I gotta have her? Just from a physical standpoint, I gotta have her. She looks good, her body's nice, she's pretty, she's a good looking woman. She might be a younger woman. Even a mature woman can have higher sexual market value, because that is just a determining of how physically attractive you are to the opposite sex. And it really is just in that realm. Sex. Men who are looking for wives are not only looking for the sexual attraction part. Also within a woman's sexual market value is her sexual history. So while many men aren't necessarily looking for virgins, they're also not looking for undercover streetwalkers. And finally, those four values that I just named culminate into a woman's marriage market value, making it either high or low. She's either going to be desirable for marriage due to those other four values, or she's not going to be desirable for marriage due to those other four values. That is marriage market value. The culmination of PMV, BMV, FMV, and SMV. It's a culmination. It's not only SMV. So while we're having conversations about men who have SOS, who have system, order, and structure, so-called high value men, whatever you want to call them, when men look for wives, they are not looking only for sex partners. Men who are looking only for sex partners usually don't marry them because he's looking for sex partners. He's not trying to get to the rest of her. He's trying to get to the part he wants. But when a man is considering marriage, he's got to look at every aspect of her. These 5 primary aspects of her. Who is she just on her own as a person? Because it's a relationship red flag if she's got low self-esteem, if she's got a bunch of personal problems. Maybe she's got some emotional instability. Maybe she's got some other type of mental health issues. This is all encompassed in her personal market value. It could be a red flag if he's not looking. Belonging market value could serve as a red flag if he looks at her family and looks to see, okay, this is not a good family dynamic for me to marry into. Because I can already see it's going to be a problem between me and her parents or what have you. Her friendship market value. Am I going to have to persuade her to get away from some of these friends that she has? Because she seems real tight with them and they seem to be able to influence her, but I don't like their influence. Her sexual market value. I'm not really concerned that she's not a virgin. I'm not really even looking for that anyway. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm not getting into a relationship with a woman that's been everywhere. Everywhere I go, there's a man that's familiar with her on that intimate level. I don't need to be a cuck. And finally, depending on all of those things, she's either marriage material or she's not. And the men determine that based on more than just sexual market value. That is marriage market value. Not how much she earns versus how much he earns, or her education value, or her profession value, or her wealth value, or her mobility value. All of those things come into play after a marriage. Because once you're married to her, you do want a woman that is intelligent. You do want a woman that's able to move with you. And not become a dead weight. She becomes an asset rather than a liability. So you don't want a liability. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. But I need for the conversations to really be had. I don't mind that the conversations are had. But let's have them honestly. And let's not try to reinvent something that's already here, because the work of the 10 life values is scholarly work. It's already scholarly work. Much has gone into it for more than 2 decades. It has been the catalyst for helping over 1 million men and their families overcome so many dysfunctions and stay together. So when we have medicine, we may as well just take our medicine and stop trying to circumvent the medicine, maybe because we don't like how it's being administered or whatever the case may be. Okay? And so with that being said, I'm going to wrap this up, but I really do want to hear everyone's opinion. Go ahead and sound off in the comment section. What do you think about the 10 life values? Is it a system? Is this something that appeals to you as a way of resolving the issues that we have both as Black women and Black men, and coming together as a community to resolve these issues? Because I firmly believe that the 10 life values is definitely that set of solutions. Definitely. Without a shadow of a doubt. but I would love to hear everyone's opinions. And so with that being said, I'm going to wrap this up. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe as well. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.
Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A-Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another CrimsonCure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.